Okay, we are looking at our last art criticism here. This is a work by Vincent van Gogh. It is his painting called Bedroom at Arles, and it was created in 1888. So for our first three things that we have to fill in over here, it's going to be title is Bedroom at Arles, artist is Vincent van Gogh, also known as Vincent van Gogh if you pronounce it with the correct Dutch pronunciation, and the date was 1888. So go ahead and fill in those three things, and when you are ready, we can move on to the describe section, but in the meantime, please pause me. All right, so looking at the describe section, we are going to list bullet points out the things that we see in this room. So make a note of all the different objects that are in this room. Please list at least 3 to 5 of them. While you are doing that, please pause and then unpause me when you are ready for the analyze section. Okay, in the analyze section, we are going to talk about the elements of art, form, and space. To start with, form is going to be any three-dimensional object. So I want you to tell me what objects in this picture have 3 dimensions. So what specific things are in the actual picture that are used to create that sense of form and three-dimensional object? And then for space, I want you to tell me how those forms were achieved. What was the technique that they are created with? Hint, we just did a reading about this whole technique. That intros it all. Hint, hint, hint. While you were writing that, go ahead and pause me, and when you have finished those 2 sentences, go ahead and unpause so that we can move on to interpret. Okay, so for the interpret section, I want to give you a little bit of background on what this picture is about. So Vincent van Gogh had a lot of struggles in his life. He didn't actually live terribly long, and he did end up committing suicide at the end of his life. And he had suffered from some mental health issues sort of throughout his life, and some regular health issues throughout his life, partly because he ate his paint, but that's a whole other part of the story that I'm not getting into. There was one time when he was living in Paris with a bunch of his friends, and he got kind of overwhelmed by what Paris life was like. It was loud, it was boisterous, it was crazy food, lots of drinking, too many people around, and he ended up having to go to a hospital in Arles to recuperate and to get better. This picture here is depicting his bedroom at Arles. However, he didn't paint it until after he left. So my question to you to answer in the interpret section is, why do you think he was painting this bedroom of a place that he wasn't at anymore? A place where he had sought help and he had tried to rest and recuperate. Why, after leaving that place, would he try to paint that and see that again? While you answer that question in a complete sentence, go ahead and pause me and then unpause me when you are ready for the judgment section. Okay, and finally we're going to talk about judgment. Do you think this is a good artwork, or do you think this is an unsuccessful artwork? And tell me why or why not. What about the artwork is either well made, or well crafted, or well designed, or well planned, or whatever else you want to say, or what about it does not work? And then you can submit this assignment in Schoology.